Okay, we are back from Creative South. It was a wild night last night.
Yes.
Crazy.
Can I tell you about my evening?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Here's what I did.
Wait,
Patrick had the wildest night of all of
Let's
us.
introduce Dan first. Everybody,
Okay.
welcome Dan Lee to the show.
Hey.
Okay.
So
now,
good to be here.
Now that you're here, listen to Patrick talk.
Let's go.
I went to a
Stab
park
it.
and I sat on a bench and watched a bunch of people draw for 2 hours.
Yes.
My back completely seized up and then I went to the hotel.
Wild.
It was
A
wild.
wild night.
awesome.
Did you take drugs when you got back to the hotel?
You wouldn't believe the drugs. Vitamin C. Yeah.
Was there any melatonin mixed in that cocktail?
Yeah.
So much melatonin.
I was at least going for like Advil, a muscle relaxer, like something
hard
that you
stuff.
might
I can't
take.
do
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
okay.
You can't mix those, you know.
He has a weak liver.
Yeah,
when
the
it comes
snow
to that.
cones and Advil really don't go together.
Okay, so
Best night.
speaking of snow cones, like, how do you enjoy the bridge party, Dan? This is not your
That
first
was an
year.
epic
You've
segue,
experienced
by the way.
many of these bridge parties before. How did this one compare to the others?
This one, they're like your children. You can't pick a favorite.
Okay,
They're all really awesome for different reasons.
okay.
But then you go to your really close friends and you say, this one's actually my favorite. And
Okay.
I think that's this year.
Well, assuming
Oh,
that we're your
wow.
really close friends, including all the people watching, what was it about last night that made it so fun?
I think it was just the sheer number of random people I talked to.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, like people who would just like come up to me or that I would be like, hey, I remember you, and strike up a conversation. And I feel like that's the best thing about the bridge party
Okay.
is when you can just like collide with people you know, people you don't, introduce them, make new relationships,
Yeah.
and strengthen the old ones while having a ton of free drinks and food.
Yeah.
And then Ink Wars. Ink Wars was epic this year. 10 people,
Yeah.
including
there
our
was-
very own Andrew.
Yeah. It was epic. It was fun.
Can you?
It was really fun.
By the way, can you explain your approach to your to what you chose to draw last
Am I
night?
Ink Wars? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Hot seat, hot seat.
we
Yeah. We're switching it
we're
up.
so glad that you came to watch us talk.
Yeah.
It's
That's what this was.
so I didn't so you don't know what the prompt is until literally 5 seconds before you start. But
Did they even give you 5 seconds? I feel like it was like, theme, go.
they gave us 5 seconds only because the timer didn't start right away.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But yes, it was like here's the theme. Now start.
So you guys really got off easy, is what it was.
Yeah, we had a leg up. But yeah, I went into it knowing I wanted to draw Mickey because that's what I do.
Your
And
signature.
I chose 2 versions of Mickey that I wanted to draw depending on what the prompt ended up being. And so
Oh, nice.
I had already
Good
kind of
call.
thought through which one it would be, and I said, I'm gonna
Take
draw
notes,
this
people.
Mickey, and I'm just gonna retrofit it to fit the prompt, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I ended up just having Mickey holding, like, it was family tree is what it ended up being, and I ended up sticking branches in his hands and
Ancestors in the ground.
ancestors in the ground.
That was
Exactly.
my
So,
favorite
exactly
part
right.
by far.
Yeah, I really
We
like
were on the
that.
back row and people were trying to guess what was under the ground in yours. And some people were thinking you were going to draw like Walt, like underground under Mickey. I was like, there's no way he's going to do something that
If
morbid.
if I had thought about it, it would have been super fun to have Walt in his head in like a like the cryogenically
cryogenic
frozen
yes.
head, like where it would have been his
Futurama
it would have been his
like,
head,
yeah.
but like with like icicles hanging off his ears and nose and things. That would have actually been really funny.
That would have
had
clinched
I
it.
had I thought of
Well,
it.
now you can redo it whenever you feel like it on a giant door-sized canvas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
In front of like 400 people.
Yeah.
8 foot by 4 foot canvas is that size.
Yeah,
So
that's actually bigger than a door, I think.
it's
like
it's a full size sheet of plywood.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Maybe like one of those doors.
Anyway,
yes,
and
yes,
as I
you're right,
was
like these opera doors.
that's
that we're
exactly
looking
right.
At here.
That's exactly right.
We did get pretty close to guessing that theme in the car. Yeah.
We said family tree as one
Yeah.
of our options.
No
We thought
way.
it could be, yeah. And even still, I was ill prepared. But
No, you did good.
Dan, I was telling you like right before we started, like you should totally apply to do it because we haven't said it on here yet. But you are Dan. How do you? What's yours? Dan.
Dan
Draws-
drawn words.
Dan drawn words. I couldn't remember if it was draws words or drawn
You're
words.
good,
but
man. It started as a
you-
joke and it hasn't stopped being one, I guess.
Well, it's because you keep drawing words. So
You
I know.
You started
still
to draw
true.
ironically.
I started well, yes, that too. The name was chosen. I'm like, hand-drawn words, Dan-drawn words. Who's going to see this? And here we are.
many people. Have
Yeah, like
seen it.
50,000
Yes.
people.
What have I done?
Is that what your following is right now?
Almost.
50,000.
Never quite, though.
Are you gonna celebrate
And
with like
just,
a pizza
keeps you
party?
under every time you get near 1,000
It's
on
so
Instagram, it drives
true.
me nuts. Like,
And yes, pizza is mandatory.
Okay.
It's
at that
mandatory
point.
celebration
Yeah.
food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody. I won't say who, but I saw somebody who was almost to a threshold. Like, let's say it was like 5,000 people or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, help knock me over to 5,000," and like this campaign, like the social campaign to do it, and then they started losing followers. Like all these people who realized, like after the post, they realized, like, "Oh, I'm still following this person. I don't want to be following them anymore." And
Thanks for the reminder.
It was
Wow.
like, "Thanks for letting me know I need to
Oh
cancel
my
my
God.
subscription."
Any watchers who are following
Oh
me,
boy.
Oh.
this is your reminder that you are doing so.
But the work that you do is freaking insane. Like I've been
Thanks,
following
man.
your stuff for several years now. Tell people what you do. Like tell people.
On the account?
No, yeah, just in general, like what you do this morning, like what you
Oh,
do
sure,
at night,
yeah.
like what your bedtime routine is. But
I
maybe
believe
start
in
with
2
your account.
moisturizers, oil-based, water-based. Killer.
Damn.
Let's see.
No, it's Dan.
Yeah, get it
I'm
right.
impressed.
Hot damn. Okay. Yeah, so I mainly do hand lettering. That's the driver behind Dan Drawn Words.
Mhm.
Because I was like, I really like drawing words. And literally, when I started doing it, I had no idea it was. I don't think I even knew it was called hand lettering at the time,
Yeah.
or that there was a lettering community. I was just like, hey, this is cool. I've seen people do this. I was posting on my personal account for a while, and then a friend of mine was like, we want to see what's actually going on in your life, so maybe you should start an art account. I think it was a little nicer than that, but at the time I had taken it like, stop posting art here. We want to
Yeah.
see your face.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll make a side one. And I was using like that hashtag, Dan Drawn Words, ha ha ha. Decided to make it into an actual account. And I think it was back when Instagram actually rewarded you for posting things.
Yes.
What?
So, yeah, I know. Back in
Crazy.
the dark ages.
Yeah.
Or the bright ages?
bright
Nicer
ages,
ages.
The
yeah.
golden age.
The golden age of Instagram when it was
Yeah.
like, wow, this works. So I started in like late 2014 and just met a bunch of really
What's up?
cool people throughout.
Yeah.
The journey and curation accounts would see my stuff and I'd be like, this is what it's like to be noticed. I've made it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just been on that ride ever since. So yeah, I mainly do hand lettering, and I work in graphic design and marketing and facilitation and all that world of things. But really, my true love and the thing I go back to when I have a free moment is, okay, here's a word, here's a set of words. How do I make them look cool?
Is there like a specific medium that you like to do that in? Like, I am the non-designer of the group, so I'm excited to let you know I don't follow what you do, unfortunately. But like, is it
I'm not
primarily
mad.
like, is it pen to paper? Is it like an iPad? Is it a like you like to do like sign painting? Like, what's the application that you prefer?
Yes. Primarily, excuse me. Yeah, the
We're
bridge
all-
party
we're also
took a
recovering
couple
from
yeah,
that.
things.
we'll get there, guys.
My voice, a casualty of last night,
yeah.
but it does give me this nice, deep podcast tone. So,
Mhm.
let's see.
Yeah. Prior to last night, you said you really sounded like this.
I did. I called him up. I'm like, hey guys, is this gonna be weird? I primarily work on the iPad, but before that, it was really pencil and notebook. I used to, I used to work in Philadelphia, and I would take the train in, and I would have. I started a habit of like taking out my notebook and just drawing on the train on my way to work, and I think that really helped sharpen like my compositional eye.
Mhm.
And then once I got an iPad, it was just like, oh, cool, I can do this, but without erasing and like
Yeah.
shoving eraser dust into the passenger next to me. It was great.
By the way, Marion Bright says, "Tell Dan we were stoked to find out he's a new critter."
Yes, I'm a brand new Critical Role fan.
Ah,
Okay.
nice.
So,
And
do you play?
I have Not really. I want to so bad. I guess
You guys both like tilted your heads at the same time.
Huh?
I made a character sheet in like 2011 for a game that never materialized.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were like, and I've been working on it ever since.
That's so sad. I just imagine you like sitting on your front steps of your house with your character sheet,
Waiting
just,
for
like,
your dad to show up
just
to take
waiting
you to
and nobody
Dungeons and
does.
Dragons.
The DM will be here soon. He said he'd come. It's been 2 weeks.
2011. That's 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Shut up. No,
That's
it's not.
Yes,
fast
it is.
math.
Oh gosh.
Oh my
math.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's extra sad.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, my sister got into it. So I had like a little fire, and then it died out. Not my fault. And
Wow, it seems like there's some contention there, but
I'm
go
not
ahead.
bitter. This is fine.
All right.
I'm not thinking of any names right now. My sister and a bunch of her friends got started with a like monthly game that they were playing, and then they invited me to be a guest on it, and that just reminded me like, oh yes, I once wanted to do this, and so
You blow off the dust on your character sheet.
and they're like, no, we've made a character for you. I'm like, okay, well that's also cool.
And then you
Can
go,
wait. Yeah,
and you suck all the dust back
right
up.
back.
Tuck it back into the shelf again.
And you close your book and slide it into the drawer.
Wipe away a single tear. And so that was really fun to do that, and like they had me being like this really hot pirate guy. So I was like, I'm flattered. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Call you the hot pirate.
Pretty much.
Can I call you the hot pirate?
I will never stop you.
Okay, good.
That-
What was your first character that you rolled? Do you remember, like the class and race? Do you remember?
Yes, he was a rogue. He was a human rogue. He had an extremely sad backstory because I think that's what I
That's
thought.
what you do. That's how you
D&D.
play D&D.
Came from a family of traveling acrobats, and then of course they.
No. But I felt like I needed to keep it going.
This is uncanny at this point.
I've been using your character. Someone needed to.
Plot twist. You were the DM who ghosted me all this
The whole
time.
time. I'm like, this character is too good.
Can't let it go.
So I've been like thinking about making a new. Well, who am I kidding? I've made a new character.
Yeah.
Just waiting for a campaign one day.
Is it a rogue
Um,
again?
It is not. I made a bard this time.
Yeah.
High five that one.
Yeah, it's just like, singing and spells at
Yes.
the same time. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
you are like, you can talk people into anything. It's great.
Yes. That was the whole goal.
Yeah.
That's why I picked that.
And if you're a rogue, you can just steal stuff from them when they don't want to give it to you. When you can't talk
Right.
them into it, then you just steal stuff from them.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get to the multi-class. Bard rogue. Oh my gosh. Unstoppable.
After we're, oh yeah, that's right. At a certain level, you can.
When you just like
I know that much.
sing in your head if you were a bard rogue, like you're trying to be like
Oh yeah.
in the shadows.
Yeah, that's a. That's
Where's
a
that
love your
phantom
verbal.
guitar coming from?
You playing in your head again?
So
Yeah.
just as a point of reference, and we'll talk more about Dungeons and Dragons offline because I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing us talk about it. But Patrick, currently one of the games that we're playing, we're in space. First of all,
Nice.
his character is a gnome bard whose weapon of choice is a keytar.
Yes,
like
I can
people
hear
so
that
much.
in my head.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
but I completely spec the opposite of what you would want to for this character.
he democratized it. He
I let
put
the
it out.
community choose,
Oh,
and
that's
they're a
right,
bunch
yeah.
of jerks.
And,
so,
so he's literally the deck. The stack is stacked.
The deck is stacked.
The stack, it's
the
fine.
deck
is
is
stacked.
stacked.
The deck is
That's
stacked
right.
I've
against
like
him.
passed on this letter switching thing ever
Yes.
since last week.
Yes.
if I get hit once, I'm dead. So I'm already waiting to roll my next character. but that's fine.
Legitimately, if he gets hit once, he is the squishiest character that's ever
You don't have
existed.
good defense?
No.
Like
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
it's not
sorry.
bad. It's
Yeah.
not
That's why I
bad.
got into
Yeah.
music.
Thanks a lot, Jedi.
You need
Yeah.
to buy
Who's watching, by the
armor.
way?
Space armor.
And that's
I don't
why
know.
I sing in space.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Dan, we want to play a game with you real quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
you've listened to the show before on some level.
Mhm.
You're somewhat familiar.
Didn't fit.
We are the Master of One podcast. Don't flip it yet.
Oh.
I haven't
You gotta-
explained
you
the.
need to like feel
Just
which one
adjusting.
is speaking to you.
I love
Okay.
the intricacy of you making sure everything is facing upright. This
There you
is
go.
why you and I will get along really well.
You're the first person to do that.
By the way,
I know.
Mackenzie
I wanna
said it's
read
clear
them
we
all.
all need
Yes.
coffee.
This is my coffee.
You're going to become a master of something for the next couple of minutes. So you're going to flip over one of these tokens. They have categories on them. For the next 2 to 3 minutes, you're going to tell us something new, fun, noteworthy, exciting about that category. And we can't argue with you because you are the master of it for the next 2 to 3 minutes. All right?
Sounds like my regular life. So
Perfect. So
fantastic.
just flip over one of those tokens, and then we're good to go. Art and design.
We gotta stop putting that in the center.
Oh,
Need to put it on the edge. That's
I
fine.
shuffle it every time.
All right, so tell us something that to you is new and cool in the sphere of art and design.
Oh boy. Yes, this is good. Let's see. This is where I do need to wake up my brain a bit because I'm like, all the things, everything's
Yeah.
amazing about this. Okay. So I don't remember the exact names, but I was learning something about the Impressionist movement
Okay.
that really struck me as something that could be applicable to all of us who have a kind of visual craft or are looking to make any kind of influence. So during the rise of the Impressionist movement, you know, it was the age of just being able to be an artist who was hanging out in cafes in France and stuff and really just trying to make it and maybe like getting the attention of a rich patron or two. And there was this one painter, and because his name is French and I did not look up the pronunciation,
fine.
I will not try to say it, but you can Google the details and figure out who I'm talking about. He
spell it because that seems equally difficult.
his initials were GC.
Okay.
I think that's the main thing I remember. He was a painter.
Gustave Vasquez.
Yeah, very French. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. We'll call him Gustave. It's not his name. We'll call him Gustave. Gustave was a painter with the Impressionists, so around like Monet and my art history is really showing here.
and
Others.
Impressionists.
And other famous ones. So Gustave had his own painting practice, was pretty good, but never really like caught the public's attention. Like we would not really have heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
But an interesting thing that he did do was he collected a bunch of the paintings from his fellow Impressionists. And either before he died or when he died, he had specifically instructed that they be placed in an exhibition at some museum. Wow, these details are amazing right now, guys.
It's fine. Adam,
Gustave and some museum. And the main effect was that exhibition ended up catapulting those Impressionists to the fame that we know nowadays. And like the kinds of paintings like Monet's Water Lilies
Oh, wow.
got the recognition that they did because of that exhibition, even though like I think in a blind study they were looking at, you know, they would expose a whole bunch of random paintings from the era to students in the modern day who had never seen them before and asked them to rate, like, which do you think is the best? And frequently these most popular ones wouldn't even rank in the top. But because of this guy's sort of signal boost at the end of his life, it catapulted the main Impressionists that we know and love to the fame that they have. And so to me, I think it was a great reminder of like, you never know what when you are a signal booster, just being able to do that for each other in the art community.
Yeah.
It feels like you have a good chance of making a shift in destiny for people.
Sure.
And you never really know if your impact might be to help that happen as opposed to having your own star rise. But I think that's also okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, that's a little detail.
Man.
With
that
all the
category.
details.
Yeah.
So look it up. GC. I think it, how do you pronounce the name Guillame?
Gustave.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Gustave,
Yeah.
If I remember
basically.
correctly. Well, dude, thank you so much for
Yes.
chatting with us. Tell people where they can find you, they can follow you, they can support what you're doing, all that jazz.
Absolutely. Instagram, Dan Drawn Words. The other stuff is coming soon, as always.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
As always.
As always.
The story of my life is going to play right when we